UFC 312 just ended. We've got a lot to talk about. This is an amazing card. Really surprised by some of the performances. I know in my reaction to this fight, I was hard on it. And for a pay per view, I will say there wasn't enough star power. And I will stand by that if they can't make big cards in Australia, they shouldn't go to Australia. But besides that, names and names. The crowd was awesome. The fight was awesome. And also, I want to thank anybody who tuned in to the Fight Companion stream. Um, about that, we had a viewer join us, and yeah, that happened. You know, it's content. I'll go with that, but without further ado, we're not going to talk about that, but we're going to jump into the fights, starting with Drakus, starting with Drakus versus Strickland. Man, this fight proved that DDP is evolved. He is, uh, it's not a technical video without indigestion. I say that every video, never every time it comes true. So we have DDP winning by unanimous decision, and he walked down Sean Strickland and beat Sean Strickland at his own game. We know that Sean Strickland is a volume striker, but you look at round by round, Drake is outstruck Strickland in the first round, in the second round, the third round. Uh, Sean did win the striking match in the fourth round, which I think one of the judge gave Strickland that round. I would also say round one was kind of close, if you want to say, but man, this was impressive. Like we talk about Marab having an insane pace in the UFC. It's easier. Well, okay. It is hard to become an MMA fighter, let alone champion. But to stay at the pace that Drakus was is nothing but impressive. And he was battering Sean Strickland. The leg kicks added up, and the nose was a big thing where DDP broke Sean's nose in the middle of the fight, and that I felt Sean Strickland, props to him, he fought through it, but that was one of the things that helped DDP further hit the gap, and for a fight that was so close the first time, I believe that Sean Strickland won the first fight, but this left no doubt in people's mind who the better fighter is. And man, DDP, like, this is the new era of middleweights, right? We had AZ, we had Whitaker. Before that, we had Luke Rockhold and Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva, the greatest middleweight of all time. And we need to start having a conversation of DDP chasing Silva, chasing Adesanya, who he submitted, the only person to submit Adesanya. And we know that Hamza Chimaev will most likely be next, if not, if the passport issue is still a thing, which I heard and I made a video on. He has his passport back, so he's allowed to travel to countries, hopefully. And I want to see this fight. I want to see how DDP style. Like the thing with DDP, and we said it in the um live fight companion, and like DDP fights like he has special needs, and even his coaches said as said such in his corner and in interviews. But it's effective, man. It's a really effective style. We know that Sean Strickland's game is the teeth jabs, constant pressure, landing effectively. He was he was beating Sean at his game. He did get one takedown, went for a second one, didn't get it, and even though he didn't get a finish, he left no doubt in our minds that he is the champion at middleweight. And I hope that we get to see him before Abu Dhabi. But I kind of think that a fight like Hamzat will be saved for a bigger card. If you have John Jones and Tom Aspinall at International Fight Week, that only leaves Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, events like that where they will wanna put Hamza in the headliner because I feel for a fight like this, I don't see you putting that in a co-main event. Let's face it too, this card wasn't very star heavy, and I assume that once again Hamza has been a star that they've been trying to build. DDP is a star that they are forced with, whether they like it or not. I do believe the UFC loves having DDP as champion, but man, that pace is incredible. And I think that after this, DDP has the potential to give Adesanya and Anderson Silva run for their money. I know that a topic currently going around is comparing the um, competition that DDP is facing to Anderson Silva. He is facing better competition. There's no fault of Anderson Silva. That's just part of the sport. The way that the sport has rapidly grown over the years is incredible, but really good win by Dricus. Moving on to the co-main event, Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. This was another phenomenal performance by Zhang Weili. I picked Tatiana Suarez to win because I thought the takedown threat that Tatiana Suarez offered was going to be an issue for Zhang Weili. Zhang Weili is also 35, which for the lighter weight classes is usually the decline. Um, Part of that too, I did say is I want an active champion. Tatiana Suarez has only fought once this year, and I think the last fight was in 2023 actually. So that point kind of made no sense, but I made it. But you look at it round by round, she outstruck um, Tatiana Suarez. Her reversal game too in this fight was next level. Like Tatiana Suarez got the takedown, but it didn't take long for Zhang Weili to show the improvement she has made under Henry Cejudo, who is an Olympic gold medalist, a two-division champion, a Hall of Famer. Whenever that will happen, you move into round two. It was all Zhang Weili. 52 strikes to 3, 10 eh, significant. Clearly, the striking advantage was Zhang Weili. I feel like we all knew that going into this fight. Moving into the third, more of the same. 33-9, round four, 53-21, and a takedown. And then in round five, she shut it out, 63 strikes to 7. I'm pretty sure she won this fight 50-45. If I am wrong, yeah, because DDP won 50-45, 50-45, 49-46. That I'm not sure which round they gave to Sean Strickland. Then Zhang Wei, she won 49-46, and then 49-45 because I think it was in round two. They gave her a 10-8. One of the judges gave her a 10-8 round, and it was well deserved, man. Like, for somebody like Zhang Wei, who is so talented and really making a legacy at strawweight that will be really hard to follow. And Dana White at the press conference, I watched a little bit of it. He referenced Valentina Shevchenko and the possibility of a title fight, and I really think that's warranted here. You guys know my opinion on champ versus champ fights. I like them. We all like them. But it should be a dominant champ taking on a dominant champ, not a superstar taking on a superstar, which it is. Excuse me. It should be a showcase of an elite fighter chasing something that should be a accomplishment very few get to have. And we've had, I think it's 13. No, we've had uh, sim- uh 8 simultaneous. No, fuck, I'm mixing up the numbers, but we've had a handful of simultaneous. We've had people who have lost the belt at a weight class move up and get it. Alex Pereira, and like I said, Zhang Wei Li. I don't really see anything left for her at the strawweight division. She beat Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She did lose to Rose Namajunas, but she got that one back, and I don't think Rose is fighting anymore. Um, so I would love to see Valentina versus Zhang Weili. It would be big for you know Chinese MMA. It'd be big for the UFC. Maybe you even do it in China. I know that they wanted to go to China for some time, but this was a master class, and I picked Tatiana Suarez to win. I was greatly wrong. I kind of did that because I want an active champ, but with performances like this, she gets to do what she wants, and she's the champ. I would like to see her fight at the end of the year. I think that she's at 3 title defenses, which typically is when champions should move up, in my opinion. But yeah, phenomenal performance by her. I don't see any strawweight beating her anytime soon, like I said. Moving on to Tawerson Teixeira versus Justin Taffa. This was vicious, dude. Tawerson Teixeira just walked across the cage, bombarded him, and he knocked him out via elbows. This dude is massive. I picked Justin Toffa just because I didn't know anything about Harrison Teixeira, but this dude at heavyweight will be a threat. Now, I'm not saying that the Toffa brothers are, the elite of heavyweight, but they are fan favorites. Uh, well, the the question that joined the live stream that again I don't want to talk much about. Uh, yeah, that was some. He, he pointed out that this guy has insane reach, bigger than the cage, and he is insanely athletic, and that was that's been a focal point of mine. Where in the heavyweight division, we're finally seeing the days of the athletic heavyweights. When King Velasquez and JDS had their trilogy and they were on top, they were really one of few legitimate heavyweight fighters who were built like athletes. And had unreal cardio and could perform incredible feats, Kane and his cardio and the wrestling pedigree that he brought. Now, I don't know what you do with Towson just yet after Justin Taffa. Heavyweight is very short on star power, especially after releasing Rosenstrike after his fight against Pavlovich last week. But yeah, an incredible debut. I did have an issue with this being the third to last fight on a pay per view card. But hey, of course, the UFC now has a new big name, and I'm interested to see what he does. He took no damage, so maybe he can make a short turnaround, something that heavyweights aren't known for. I would love to see that happen. Moving on to Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bolado. Jimmy Crute ended up winning. No, never. He won on one scorecard, but it was deemed a majority draw. I thought that Jimmy Crute won this fight, though. It was back and forth. Jimmy Crute dominated the first round, nearly knocking out Bellato, and was landing some beautiful combinations. Jimmy Crute was obviously put on the main event as an Australian, and I don't really know where Jimmy Crute would land at the top of light heavyweight. You know, I love the performance, but light heavyweight is silently one of the most talented divisions out there. You have Pereira, you have Uncle Ives, you have Yuri, Jamal Hill, however I would say guys like that, and I don't see Jimmy Crute doing well against those kinds of names. I don't see it. But my opinion, this was a 29-28 for Jimmy Crute. I gave him round one, and I think round two I gave him. Uh, Pretty even strikes in the second and the third. Uh, I thought Waddle clearly won round three, landed a takedown, outstruck Jimmy Crute. But yeah, Jimmy Crute had a phenomenal performance. It was a really fun fight by him. Moving on to Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado. Again, this was on the main event of a pay per view in 2025. Jake Matthews had a really good performance. So you go into round one, he he won the striking by one shot. I thought that his combinations in this fight really impressed me, and that's something I wanted to add on to the Jimmy Crute fight. He was landing some really good combinations, and that's kind of why I gave it to Jimmy Crute. But back to this fight, Jake Matthews, this was a performance that shocked me. I kind of figured that this would be, a very, I don't want to say boring, but I thought it was going to be a typical Jake Matthews performance. But it wasn't. Second round, 39 strikes to 21. Again, the combinations that he was throwing, and the pace that he was able to keep up really impressed me. And then he really ran away with it in the third. I thought that Prado wasn't really landing efficient combinations, and that was the difference in this fight. Jake Matthews was able to chase him down, land two two punch combos, three punch combos, mixing the kicks, mixing the leg kicks, and that's what I felt was the difference in this fight. Really good win by Jake Matthews. Moving on to the main event of the prelims. we have Gabriel Santos versus Jack Jenkins. Um, Gabriel Santos won via rear naked choke. This was really all Gabriel Santos in this fight. Sadly, the Australian, well, no, I forgot. Round one, I did think that Jack Jenkins won. Gabriel Santos did land a takedown. He did go for a submission, but I thought that Jack Jenkins looked really good on the feet. He was landing good combos, keeping the distance until the takedown. Moving into round two, though, Gabriel Santos took over from here. 58 strikes to 5, landed a takedown, and really, like, the ground game that he showed, he was levels ahead of Jack Jenkins. And in the third round, he was able to get the naked choke, sorry. Um, Jack Jenkins only had one strike in that round, landed two takedowns um, fairly easily. He was, he was fighting for them insanely well. And, like, this was a really impressive performance on his end. And, featherweight, I say this with every featherweight fight. Featherweight is probably one of if not the best divisions we have with the Florio Diego Lopez. You have why am I forgetting his name? Mikhail. Not Mikhail. This is pissing me off. Why am I blanking on his name? Um, yeah, I'm looking this up. Um, UFC rankings. Why can't I remember this guy's name? Doesn't wait. Mofsar Evloev, not Mikhail. Mikhail isn't even in the UFC anymore. But yeah, it was. This is really impressive by David Dos Santos. I think he needs a few more wins outside of the rankings to get a title for, not a title for, a ranked contender, but really, really showed a lot of bright spots, and I'm interested to see what he can do to the fighters above him. Moving on, though, to Tom Nolan versus Borshev. Tom Nolan defeated Borshev by unanimous decision. Was landing at a better pace, outstruck Borshev in rounds 1 and 3. Round 3 was the most definitive round. Borshev did have a submission attempt, and it looked concerning, but Tom Nolan was able to fight out a bit. Um, Going back to round 2, I thought Borshev looked really good. Tom Nolan did land his own takedown, went for a submission, wasn't able to get it, but round 1 I felt was pretty definitive. Outlanded Borshev, had two submission attempts. They didn't look concerning, but yeah, it was an incredible pace, really good win by Tom Nolan. Moving on to Wang Kong versus Bruno Brazil. This was a very dominant performance. I know I'm saying the same thing, but whatever. Uh, I'm pretty sure she outstruck Brazil by a large margin in every round, and she was kind of taking her down at will. Whenever she went for a takedown, she got it 2 for 2, but it was on the feet where she showed that she was miles ahead of Bruno Brazil, landing a good combination, really good kicks too, and was piecing her up. It was a really definitive win. Um, I yeah, that's really all I got for this fight. Um, Fun fight. We all know the thing with women's fight. They are either the best fights on the card or the most boring fights on the card. There's no in between with women's fights. This is one of the better ones. Really good performance by Wang Kong. Moving on to Alexandre Topuria versus Colby Thickness. We know Alexandre Topuria is the brother of Ilya Topuria. Colby Thickness is a training partner to Alexander Volkanovski. We had that nice back and forth between Ilya Topuria. They hugged, they took pictures. That's nice to see. But Alexandre Topuria looks like a menace, dude. He had pace. He didn't show that he had, the Ilya Topuria patented nuclear power. But dude, this guy's pace. Uh, I don't know if it competes with Marab. Obviously, it will be quite some time before we see this, and this is a really good plan by the UFC to have, a teammateable take on the brother Topuria. We all know that Topuria Volkanovski too looks like it will be the next fight for Ilya Topuria. But yeah, man, this was impressive. Like the takedown in round one was really impressive to me. He got it really quickly and was able to control him pretty efficiently and land some good shots in round two. It was really back and forth, but I thought that Topuria was just landing the cleaner shots, and he showed that he is a problem at bantamweight. It was his first fight, so we'll have to see whether or not the UFC wants to push him because of his last name, or if they're gonna take it slow with him. We know that Ilya's plan is to pretty much have his legacy, retire in a few years, and then leave it up for his brother to have his own legacy. He's already lost one fight, and bedtime, uh, bedtime thing of, typically the younger brother of fighters, or should I say, when you have a successful fighter who has a brother, you don't see them have the same skill. I don't think that Alexandre Topuria has the same skills that Ilya does. Well, we'll have to see. But he has his own game. It was really effective, and I cannot wait to see what him and his brother can do in this sport. They will definitely leave a legacy, potentially like Khabib and Islam. He already has his one loss. You know, if Ilya can retire undefeated, there you go. Exact same career. Well, if Ilya moves up, knocks out, or submits Islam, which would be a tough test, I guess that Islam would have 2 losses. But really good win by him. Really good debut. Fun fight. Nice to see them throw this little fight between the next. Well, supposedly the next title fight at UFC 314, which was exposed by Bo Nickel. Moving on to the early prelims, uh, Kongzu versus Cody Steele. This is one of the fight of the nights, and it deserved it. Longzhu, man, he is an animal. But Cody Steele too, he was landing massive strikes, and there were certain times where I thought that both of these guys were gonna finish this fight. Um, Constance, he got his knockdown in the first. Um, Cody Steele did get a takedown. He nearly got a knockdown too. Like I said, there was points in this fight where I thought it was gonna get stopped, and both of these guys, man, had an unreal chin. And Rongzhu, though, he he kind of ran away with this fight. In the first, he had 34 strikes to 27. Second, 32-9. And then in the third, he was landing very efficiently, 60 strikes to 23. And it was a pace that Cody still kind of kept up with. But in the third, I think that was the most definitive round. He won this. I'm pretty sure it was 30-27. Let me make sure of that. Uh, yeah, 30-27. Unanimous decision. Really good win on his part. And yeah, moving on to Jonathan McLeod versus Kevin Juice. This is another fun fight. Jonathan McLeod won by unanimous decision 29-28. First on, he outstruck Juicy 29-20. Landed a lot of really good combinations. Nearly all of his strikes were significant. Landed a got a knockdown too in the first, and looked really good. Second round, outstruck Juicy again. Whoa, what's going on there? Outstruck Juicy again. Looked good. Moved in and out very effectively. Landed good combinations. Third round, really close down too. But again, it was Mikhailov who was landing the better combinations. Ran away with the unanimous decision. Sad loss to Kevin Juicy. Um, I like Kevin Juicy. I think he looked good in this fight. It was just a matter of Mikhailov landing better combinations and outstriking him. Really fun fight. Then we moved to the opener, and man, this was an opener. Quillenski killed, got a TKO, dropped him, dropped him with punches, finished it on the ground. 19 seconds, one of the fastest knockouts in UFC history. Yeah, it was really impressive. I it was over way too quick. I was just getting down, just sitting down, and I see him run across the cage, land a combination, knock him down, finish the fight, and yeah, 6 strikes, all significant, really good win, really good way to open the card. Now, I was very critical of this card. I will say it ended up being a fantastic card. Um, I will say though, for a peak review, there definitely wasn't enough star power for a pay per view. Now, that's kind of been the case for the last few months. Like, even looking ahead at UFC 2013 with Pereira, Ankalaev, apart from the co-main of Dan Hooker and Justin Gaethje, there really isn't much for star power on that card. But all in all, really good night of fights. DDP on his way to becoming one of the greatest of all time at middleweight. Potentially one of the greatest of all time in the UFC period. He is undefeated. He's beaten Sean Strickland twice. I know the first fight was close, but he got that win. Submitted Izzy. We'll have to see what he does to Hamza Chimaev. But let me know in the comments down below. What did you make of this fight card? What was your favorite moments? What was your favorite fight? Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Later.